Starting over. Hello, and welcome back to the Grumpy Bagel Podcast. My name is Megan. You can find me on Instagram and on Ravelry as The Grumpy Bagel. And I want to first of all apologize since it's been a bit of a long time since I recorded last. It was at the end of June was the last time I recorded, I think. It's now August 16th. Let me check. Yeah, it's August 16th today. So it's been a while, and I don't want to go into too many details, but just suffice to say that life has been happening, and my life has been a little up and down lately, but it's getting better. Things are going back up again, so hopefully that means I'll be able to record and post on a regular schedule. So that'll be nice. So nice to be back. Want to get back into a regular schedule of things. And because it's been such a while since I've recorded, that means I have lots of things to show you, more than usual. So this isn't really an accurate reflection on how much I do usually. I'm sorry if it sounds a little stilted, this recording, because I did actually record last week. And for like almost an hour or so, I was trying a new way of recording, new devices, and I absolutely hated what came out. I didn't like the lighting, I didn't like the sound, and I couldn't figure out how to fix it. My editing skills are quite limited, almost non-existent, you might say, so I decided to just do everything over again. So if things sound weird, it's because I've done this before, and I'm trying to make it sound exactly like it did the last time, and that's not really a realistic expectation. So I made a very careful, obviously very professional notes, and I'm going to try to remember all the relevant things that I wanted to say. So I have lots of things to show you. I have a new background, as you can see. This is just the other side of my room. Thought you might be getting bored with the plain wood background of my bed, my Murphy bed. So I'm trying this instead, and then I realized I had to clean everything, which I think I sort of succeeded. I don't know if you can tell what. It's just a reflection of my world that a giant bilby, a sheep, and Jane Austen are sitting on the same shelf together, and you can see the clutter of my desk. And this is a very poorly working air conditioning unit. I hate it, but it's there. You don't care about that. Never mind. So anyway, new background. I was actually really hesitant to show this background for a long time because I thought it was too much red and that it just wouldn't work for some reason. But I want to try it. I don't have a very artfully designed background for you for my room. I love looking at other crafters' rooms that have all their things up and people have all their yarn out on the shelves, but I'm not going to do that because I've had one too many run-ins with carpet beetles. Either insert sobbing or psycho music here for what happened. I'll tell you about it one day, but I am not leaving my yarn out to be exposed to voracious carpet beetle larvae. Never again. So it stays away and safe where I can't see it, which is good in some ways and bad in others. But anyway, never mind about that. Finished objects. I have a sock head to show you by Kelly McClure. I was using Knit Picks Felici in the Tea Party colorway, I'm trying to get better about saying what kind of needles I used. I used a US 1.5 size, which is 2.5 millimeters, and I did everything according to the pattern except where I started the crown decreases. Sorry, airplane. If it's not one airplane, it's another. I started the crown decreases at 8 inches of stockinette instead of 9. It's a free pattern. Everyone knows it. But what I really liked about this was that I ran, just as I was finishing the crown, I started one more new color on the last 2 rounds, so then it goes into just a bit of color there. Anyway, I think it's cute. I don't know why. So there is a sock head. Hopefully the last sock head for a while. And you didn't see any of these last time. That's how long it's been. I made a Reina shawl, which is by Nora Livola. Also a free pattern. I made this in some Hanalei hand-dyed, or Hanalei strings. I can't remember which brand she prefers the name to go by. She prefers the brand to go by now. But Hanalei hand-dyed or Hanalei strings. I made this in, you can see me. Oh well, it's lace. Who cares? In the Sunrise Shell colorway, in the 50/50 Superwash Merino Bamboo base, fingering base that they have. And it goes into the pinks and yellows, and going in, and there's just little bits of white. I'm not sure if it's intentional or if it just happened that some of it was undyed, but it matches Sunrise Shells perfectly. So that is my Reina. The only thing that I changed on this was the edge. I did one more row of garter edge so that you got two of the two of the garter ridges here, and then I did a picot bind off, which I did I did a cable cast on 3, bind off 6, cast on 3, bind off 6. That's the way that I did it. I really enjoyed how it turned out. I didn't know if I would like it or not, but I'm really looking forward to using this as a kerchief, wearing it kerchief style for when we get some in-between weather here in Central Valley of California. So there's my Reina. I really like how it turned out. It's super soft too. Love the space. So there is that Reina. I made another Reina doing some stash busting and going through, this is one of the skeins that I got in my, pick all the shawls, oh well. In the prize that I got from the San Luis Obispo Yarn Crawl, I did exactly the same on this one. Oh, they were size 6 needles, which are 4 millimeters. And this I used the Louisa Harding Petura, and I think that this is the Kandinsky colorway. I still haven't been able to quite figure out which color I got. Sorry, the fan's on, so it's rippling. So I did same mods, same edge. So I don't know, it's not really me, not my colors, but it'll go to someone who enjoys it, I hope. Second Reina. See, I also made a French can shawl. It was by Mademoiselle C. On Ravelry, I used some more prize yarn, the Anzula Croquet in Rust, which is a 50/50, should be Superwash Merino, and I forgot what kind of silk it is, but in the Rust color. I used size 7s on here, which is 4.5 millimeters, and it's gorgeous. I love it. You still see through. This is the first time I've done an applied border on a shawl. I love the cables. And I used, you have a couple of options for the edge. I don't think I'm giving too much away. It's a paid for pattern, but I used knit 2 togethers on the edge instead of slip knits. But I prefer that edge look on it, so French can. I made another shawl with an applied border. I made the Duchess of Devonshire shawl by Kay Jones, Bakery Bears. Sorry, I'm a soft talker normally, and I've noticed that the sound doesn't come through as well as I would like usually on podcasts, so I'm trying to speak clearer, move my voice from back here kind of up into here. So if I end up yelling, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I had a long day yesterday, which I will tell you about next time in acquisitions. So I made a Duchess of Devonshire shawl, which is blending into my shirt. It's lovely blue. I posted on my Instagram when I was initially wanting to start this pattern of the yarn that I had in mind for it, and you may have noticed that it was purple. This is blue. But it's the same dyer and the same base, it's just a different colorway. And I just changed my mind. I had gotten about this far through it before with the purple, and you know how just sometimes yarn just speaks out to you that you realize that this isn't what you want that yarn to be, even though you may love the pattern, it's just not matching in your mind for some reason. So I ripped it out and started again, which is good because I really had been wanting to use this color for quite a long time, but it's such a vibrant blue, I couldn't think of something that would be quite appropriate for this electric blue shade. But it ended up working really well with this, and appropriate, I think, because this is inspired by one of the water features, the cascade at Chatsworth House in Devonshire, in England. So I thought, oh, you know, the blue and the water, I think it goes well. It's humongous. I almost wanted to, I keep just doing this while I'm talking. Sorry. I wanted to, I almost went up a needle size on this because I thought it was going to turn out too small. I'm glad I didn't, because it turns perfect size. It keeps going and going and going. And you can see the applied border here. Yeah. And this is Fiber Fangirl Merino Twist. I don't think it says sock in there. It's just Merino Twist. She does not dye anymore, I think, which is I'm really sad about, because I always loved her colors. She had the most intense, vibrant colors that I just, whenever I saw them at my local yarn shop, I just grabbed whatever I could. So so the other purple, that's the last I have of her that I bought from her. So I'm saving it for something really special. And the colorway, and this is another reason that I thought it would be appropriate for this pattern, because there's been it's not a running gag necessarily in the Bakery Bears, but there was a yarn color that they used for a while, and it got lots of giggles, because it was a West Yorkshire Spinners color that I think that they did a design range, a yarn color range inspired by native British birds. And there was one that was called Blue Tit. Lots of giggles, always. So, and they would mention that every once in a while. I think they did it in a few different bases from them as well, but they would always talk about the Blue Tit and how it made a Bryony laugh. And it makes everybody laugh, right? So the name of this colorway, so I'm calling this, to Dan and Kay, I know you don't watch, but I have to talk to you anyway. He says, I will see your blue tit and raise you a blue-footed booby bird. Look it up, folks. No, it's safe for work, I promise. Blue-footed booby birds. And that was the clincher for me buying this yarn, is that this is my favorite blue, but that name, because those birds always make me laugh, and by golly, they have blue feet. It's a thing. Anyway, so I've held this up enough, I think, for you. You get the point. So this is my Duchess of Devonshire in blue-footed booby bird. Let's see. And all the rest of my finished objects, I think, are socks. I've been partaking in a knit-along, which is co-hosted by Amber of the Yarn Hoarder Podcast and Anne of Little Skein and the Big Wool. This is the second year I think they've been doing it. I missed out last year of Sock School. And Anne has made a whole range of school supplies, she calls them, for project bags and notions and yarn colors that are all inspired by summer reading lists. There's been some for The Great Gatsby, for The Book Thief. I wish I'd gotten that color for The Book Thief. It was beautiful. And there's Charlotte's Web. Trying to remember the other ones. Anyway, you don't have to purchase any of the school supplies to really participate in. You just have to make socks and post them in the thread. It's on the finished object thread is in the Little Skein group. So I have been using that as an excuse to stash bust and just go ahead and get to those yarns that I've been wanting to make for socks and just make them, So I will get started on those. These are my prairie socks, also by Kay Jones of Bakery Bears. I made this in some hedgehog fiber sock in the Raven colorway. So these great purples and browns. I'm actually really happy with the fabric. I think I mentioned last time that it's a little controversial as to whether these are actually really good as a sock yarn, but I like them. I'm going to treat them as house socks anyway, just to get used to them and see how they wear. But I'm really happy with how they turned out. I used size 1s for the cuff and then went up to 1.5 for the rest of the body, since the stitch, for me, the stitch pattern does make them significantly tighter. I think that's a good color representation there. Yeah, I'm not sure with this lighting, but that looks good. So those are my prairie socks. And for my second pair, I have some self-striping socks out of Canon hand dyes. This was a Charles self-striping sock, which is I think it's an 80/20 superwash merino and nylon. This was the Walking in a Winter Wonderland color. And I used some local to me independent dyer called Invictus Yarn. They're in Sacramento. So, and it's a BFL nylon blend on this one, an 80/20 also, I think. So I used that for the cuff. Sorry, I did it again. I did this the last time I recorded too. I did it for the heel and this the very, very end of the toe, so that I could, because it starts out with the lightest blue and medium dark, light medium dark, and going through. So I wanted to keep the color going so that I could start right away on the second one. And then just because since BFL is a blue-faced Leicester, is a tougher, more hard-wearing wool, I wanted those for the areas that are going to get the most wear. So those are for me. And also for me, I have some socks that I made with my Nerd Girl yarns in Attack Eyebrows. Sorry. For the 12th Doctor in her Oh Snap base, which is also an 80 or maybe 75/10 blue-faced Leicester and nylon blend. So I am going to wear these at the Christmas special at the end of this year for when we finally say goodbye to Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor, which I'm going to miss him so much. Oh, and guys, that season finale, I'm still not over it. I'm still not over it. Once again, Moffat took my heart out, ripped it out, stomped on it, laughed maniacally, and then gave it back to me. Yeah, sorry about that. I realized my camera had stopped recording for a few minutes. Lovely. Anyway, getting back to, let's see, where was I? Yes, Doctor Who. For having to, that season finale was just emotionally exhausting. And Moffat. So anyway, I am looking forward to the Christmas special, the end of the year, where we will be saying goodbye to Peter Capaldi, but we will be saying hello to Jodie Whittaker. I am so excited about this, guys. I mean, controversial opinion, I know, for if you haven't heard, a woman has been cast as the next Doctor, and people have been having their opinions on it, and my opinion is that I think it's great. As long as there's the talent to and the writing to back it up, I am all for it. I don't care who plays the Doctor. I think this is going to be an amazing journey, and I can't wait to see what she does with it. So that's my opinion. I had another pair of socks, but I don't know where they are at the moment. I gave them to my mom because I thought after the last time I recorded I was done and I didn't need to show them anymore, and I don't know where she put them. But I'll try to put a photo up here for it, if nothing else. But you can find it on my Ravelry page. I made some socks for her out of the Zen Yarn Garden Serenity 20, the Velvet Cake colorway, which is reds and purples interspersed with some browns and cashmere. They were so soft. No wonder I don't know where they are. She's not going to give them back to me. No. So anyway, those were my finished objects. I have some works in progress. First one I have right here for you is I'm making a star shower cowl by Hillary Smith Callis in some Hanalei hand dyed. There's their 75-25 superwash merino nylon blend basic sock yarn, which is in the Manoa orchid color, which is going into some lilacs and then darker purples and then bright green. And I'm trying to figure out how to show this to you. I just have it in the round now, so it's a little awkward to try to show you. But this is what I have so far. There. And this is, I have a stitch marker from the yarn shop that I got it from. Let's see if I can get it right there. There we go. It's from Twisted Turtles Yarn Shop. That is in across the street from Nawili Harbor in Kauai, Hawaii, which is owned by a man named Warren, whom I absolutely love. He has no idea who I am, but I love talking to him whenever I go in, because he knows exactly when to talk to you and when to leave you alone, which I think is not to be underestimated in a yarn shop owner, because I've been to some yarn shops where they just kind of converge on you and have to show you and explain absolutely everything to you. They don't kind of assume that you don't know anything when you go in, which maybe it's just because I'm such an introvert, and whenever I see people heading toward me, it's like, no, go away, and then I kind of freak out, I never do that. I just sit silently and go, while internally screaming, which I don't know what problems that says about me. There we go. Introvert, get flummoxed easily with what are words type of thing. But Warren knows when he can watch, and he does. He just sits aside and spins, and has his dog with him, and knows when to try to come up and explain something. If you were, you had a quizzical look on your face, he knows what to explain, and then he just backs off. And if you have a question, he's more than happy to help you, but I don't know, I appreciate that personally. And I can't wait to go back and see him again. So that is my star shower, Manoa Orchid. And I have in my box bag from Raquel, Color Me Happy, I have not a star shower, I just showed you. I have a hitchhiker. Yee. Here I have, last count, 19 teeth on it. And it's in, I keep forgetting, my Done Roving Frolicking Feet Transitions yarn. So I have the cake here. And I'm getting these on US 5s, which is 3.75 millimeter needles, which is unusual because all the hitchhikers I've made before I've been able to do on size 3s without a problem, but this one was really, really tight. It's a really springy, squishy yarn. So I went up to a size 5s, and that's been working fine on it. This is going to be my travel on-the-go knitting for a while, so I have no idea when that's going to be finished, or if it's going to be worth showing you next time. I don't think I'll have made significant progress on it. When I get to the next color change, maybe I'll show it to you. So there's that. And living in my Prince Edward Island bag from Little Stain in the Big Wool, I have, this has been a few things actually, and it was something different when I recorded last time. What it is now is let's see who designed it. Oh, it's from Orange Flower Yarn Designs. It's a duotone cowl. Show you what I have so far. So it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and what happens is you do about half of it with the thick yellow. In my case, it's going to be thick yellow stripes and thin purple stripes, and then when you're halfway done, you're going to switch over and have thick purple stripes and thin yellow stripes. That's duotone. Because the trouble I'd been having with all the things I was trying to make with this before was I didn't know what color I wanted to come first, if I wanted more of the purple to show or more of the yellow to show up, and that was a big problem that I was having. And then I realized that for that one, it's like, there's going to be equal amounts of color in there. So I've just gotten a few repeats done. I am knitting these. They're both Becoming Art yarn bases. This is the, Agave Sport in Perfect Mango. You can see how much I'd gotten in the other projects. And this is Thea, I don't know which one is the correct one. MCS Sport in Plum Blossom. So this is a merino cashmere silk, and this is a merino cashmere nylon. So it's going to be squishy and so soft. Sorry, I get enthusiastic about cashmere. And they're both labeled as sport, but I would definitely call these a DK, though, the thickness of it, and for the weight of the yarn and the yardage that it has, it's definitely more comparable to a DK than a sport, in my opinion. So I am knitting these on US 7s, 4.5 millimeter. I have a stitch marker here for a set I will show you later. This is a little apricot stitch marker that I got in the Little Skein, in the Big Wool's Little Stitches for the Sense and Sensibility box, which I will be showing you later. So those are my works in progress. So since it has been a while since I last recorded, that means there's more acquisitions to show you. And even if it hadn't been a while, I feel a little bit like a wool pig as I look at the things I have to show you. But it's been a while, so that makes it all right, right? That makes it better. Not really, but I'll just get it over with here, shall I? Let's see. First thing I have is another little skein in the Big Wool bag. I showed you the Prince Edward Island one, and on the Little Skein Ravelry group there is a never-ending giveaway thread, which you post pictures of the things that you've bought from Little Skein or things made from Little Skein products, and each month a prize winner is drawn, and I won a couple months ago. And so Anne sent me another shawl zip bag in the Secret Garden print, which I'm so excited about because along with Anne Green Gables, Secret Garden was one of my favorite stories growing up. There's an animated version, I think it was by ABC in early 90s, maybe 94, that I watched nonstop. My mom recorded it on TV for me, so commercials and everything, because I'm not sure if that's the story that started it or if it just fed my love of stories with the locked room or the secret place, Secret Garden, but anything that has that forbidden place that you must not go, but has all the answers to every question that you have, whether it's the Secret Garden, the West Wing from Beauty and the Beast, or as I got older, the Mr. Rochester's Secret Tower Room. Trying not to have spoilers there, if any of you don't know what's in the Secret Tower Room, or the Fifth Cellar from Phantom of the Opera. Those stories were just I am such a sucker for. So Secret Garden shawl zip bag. Trying to get back to the knitting thing here, knitting content. A few weeks ago I went to my local yarn shop not intending to buy anything, famous last words, and I wasn't going to buy anything until I saw this. It's Malabrigo worsted, but I have been looking for this color for years, literally years, and I haven't been able to find the exact one. I've gotten a blue that's very similar, but it's not the blue. This is Azul Bolita. Ooh, boy. It is the richest, deepest sapphire blue you can imagine. And because the way Malabrigo dyes, you can't order really from them a specific colorway. You have to wait for the color to come to you. And the color finally came to me. And I'm so happy. Finally, something very special will have to be done with this. I'm not sure yet, but I had to. It would have been stupid of me not to buy it, right? Right? Sort of. Anyway, so that's my Malabriga worsted Azul Bolita. And I got some yarn from Once Upon a Corgi from Gabby. This is, she just came out with a new version of this base. It's the Penny base, which is another MCN, Merino Cashmere Nylon base. This was, sorry, I couldn't go. This was the base, or the colors that I got before she got that new base. I got one skein of Mermaids Don't Run Track, which is great. Oh, it's blowing out a little bit. Cover a bit there. Which is a minty green with some speckles and flecks of this coral in there. Really nice. I don't know why I like this color. It's been one that I've been thinking about for a long time before getting, and I just finally couldn't stand it anymore and just snagged it. So there's Mermaids Don't Run Track. And same base, I got some patisserie, which is variegated and speckled with all sorts of things, and there's pinks and purples and some almost black and green bits in the middle there. And this was inspired by Gabby's trip earlier this year to England and France. She did an English set of colors and a French set of colors, so patisserie from France, which I loved hearing about on her Instagram and on the podcast, because it made me think of my trip when I went to England and France, and I can't believe it was 10 years ago now. Oh man. Time flies, I gotta go back. I miss it so much. Let's see. And I have the latest 2 installments of also from Gabby, a series of unfortunate events club, which everyone will have gotten these clubs, these skeins already, so I don't mind showing you. Hopefully Gabby doesn't mind either. But this one was for the Carnivorous Carnival, which is Miracles and Meatballs, and these are on the Audrey base, which is an 80/20 BFL nylon blend, and it's browns and just absolutely everything in there together, which is kind of the point, because it's taken from a quote from the Carnivorous Carnival, which I remember to write down this time. It says that miracles are like meatballs because nobody can exactly agree on what they are made of, where they come from, or how often they should appear. So there's bits of pink and a bluish, kind of going to a steely gray in here, and then into black. So Miracles and Meatballs. And then for the Slippery Slope, I've reskeined this a couple times, so it doesn't look as nice as it did when I first got it, but I got Snow Scout. I love it. So white for the Snow Scouts uniforms and the pink that they have on the back of their uniforms, and then it goes into a little bits of pale blue and kind of a very light steel gray. So, Snow Scout. And let's see, I have been stocking the Ravelry D-Stash for a lot of things, which it kind of makes you feel better about what you're doing, or your yarn purchases, because you're technically helping another Ravelry out, because technically you're helping another Raveler out by taking what they either don't want or don't need, or for whatever reason that they're destashing. So then technically you're doing a good deed. Anyway, so both of these things are Cannon hand dyes. I got a Shades of Portland mini set, which is on the Charles sock base. To the other side, which I'm looking forward to using this because I have lots of family in Portland. So this will remind me of them. I don't know what I'm going to make out of it because I didn't think about it very hard. I think I just wanted to have it. That's okay, right? Yeah. And another Cannon hand dyes, as I said. This is from the Jane, another MCN, lots of cashmere in this episode. Sock weight with a matching contrasting heel skein for heels and toes, anyway. And I forgot when she did this, but this was when she was doing a bunch of her Shakespeare clubs. And this is inspired by Hamlet, and the quote for the title is, "When I saw you, I fell in love, and you smiled because you knew." Which is kind of sweet when you don't know how Hamlet ends. But you could say that about so many Shakespeare quotes. I had a friend who I was with in an orchestra class in school, and he was also in theater, and he told me about an abbreviated production of Hamlet that they did, production, where everyone came out on stage and introduced themselves and what role they play in it, and then once they were done, everyone except Horatio dropped down dead. And that was Hamlet, which is hilarious. I wish I could have seen it. It was the way he described it much better, and he had some of the quotes that they had for their humorous way of describing themselves. Which, anyway, there's that, and oh yes, this is from Destination Yarns. That I saw this color last year, and I didn't get it, and I've been kicking myself ever since about it. So this year, she finally brought it back for Shark Week, which I was so excited about, and I nabbed a skein. This is in her postcard base, which is the fingering weight 7525 Superwash Merino and a 4-ply. It is shark-infested waters. Oh, look at the blood speckles in it. Oh man, I love this so much. And that deep, deep gray, and the perfect blue, and then great white, white, and blood. Dark, twisted, and hilarious, like me. Anyway, this creeps out my dad to no end, which is really funny because he thinks that Jaws is a comedy film. He has thought so for years. What you can see where I get it, some of it. Anyway, let's see. And, the last thing is the little skein in the Big Wool. Their box that they did for the Jane Austen Club this year. No, they will actually be doing the Jane Austen book club later. This is the Little Stitches box. That got needlessly complicated, I'm sorry. Anyway, this is the box for Sense and Sensibility. And I think I forgot. This is for Sense and Sensibility. We got some stitch markers. I showed you the apricot stitch marker that's already on a project. And these are the other stitch markers that came with it, with the beads. Getting the right one. Eee. Anyway. So these are the beaded stitch markers that come with it. Got a bath bar from Tuft Woolens. Luxury bath bar. In, I was going to say what colorway it was. And flavor doesn't work either. Scent, there we go. The blueberry and apricot seed. Can't wait to try that one. Got a little bullet journal with the quote on the front, "Know your own happiness." Kind of see inside there. And a coaster pattern by Anne herself, called Storm Cloud. Got a progress keeper from Gnome Knitter. I don't have the packaging right now, sorry, but it is a apricot scone. And the quarter skeins that came with it, I get the double dose. These were actually from a guest dyer this time, from October House Fiber Arts. And the colors that I got, there's always 3 to choose from. The ones that I got were apricot jam. Here, I'll show you the tag. And blueberry trifle. And I admit when I saw these, I was a little confused because I didn't see the significance of them because of the other 2 boxes. I could tell from the colors and from the names right away what they related to and what they were inspired by. But I did look at these and think, what do blueberries and apricots have to do with Eleanor and Mary Ann and Colonel Brandon and Edward? But in the explanation email, or the inspiration email that we got was saying how how apricots are seasonally appropriate for this time of year, but were also considered delicacies and luxury items in Regency England. So going how from what the Dashwoods are used to and accustomed to, and their changing circumstances, and how they become more content and have newfound love for the simpler things in life, except for the blueberries. So I get that. That makes sense. And they're also inspired by the costumes that Eleanor and Marianne wear in the 1995 version. So for Eleanor's gowns, and I know exactly which dress they're meaning for this one, is that Marianne that Kate Winslet wears. Well, she's playing piano at Barton Hall at the beginning, and when she first meets Colonel Brandon, and he helicopter. Sorry. Oh dear, sorry about that. When Colonel Brandon first meets her and falls hopelessly in love with her, and Alan Rickman. I'm still not over Alan Rickman. He was such an amazing actor, and just the perfect Colonel Brandon. There will never be. He is my Colonel Brandon. Say it that way. I think that's finally everything. This is going to be a longer podcast than usual, and like I said, this does not reflect my usual either productivity or purchasing habits. Sorry. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. There are lots of podcasts out there that are available for the taking, and thank you for spending some of your time with me today. If you enjoy, I invite you to subscribe. And until the next time, happy knitting, everybody. Bye.